It's so complex for people to.
Moshe.
It's
the man
so
does.
complex
He calls him Moshe.
for people to pronounce correctly that I've defaulted towards an easier pronunciation.
Will you start recording? Because sometimes I
Moshe's-
like to get the in. Okay, good.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah.
I thought
So
people would
speak
have
into the
wanted that.
mic.
Right.
People would have wanted that.
Moshe.
Exactly. That's
The
what
break,
I said.
but it's too late.
Speak
People were
into the
all.
mic.
Everybody was all chalking up and.
We're
interrupting.
here at the Endless Honeymoon Podcast with me, your favorite host, Natasha Leggero,
And me, the Vanna White of the Endless Honeymoon Pod.
Mr. Moshe Kasher.
It's not Moshe, Natasha. We
I
were
just
just
think it's
talking
funny
about
that our couples therapist calls you Moshe.
It is weird because he is a rabbi and cannot pronounce the most Jewish name
Really?
in the universe.
He's a rabbi.
Oh, the person
That
you're
really-
speaking is Lizzy Cooperman.
Lizzy Cooperman, the hilarious.
comedian.
Oh, my goodness.
We love her and joined with her because we just are so popular today.
Yeah.
We have Shaun Galanos. and
The
he
Love Drive
is
himself.
also known as the Love Drive.
You may
He-
remember
yes.
Shaun from the erotic massage episode of the Endless Honeymoon Podcast, and he's here to dole out more wisdom and is now, I don't know if I could call you this. When do you become an Angelino? How many
That's
years?
a good question. I
6
don't know.
weeks.
I still don't really say that.
6 weeks.
Yeah, I guess I couldn't quite. I've been living in LA. We've probably been living in LA about the same amount of time.
Yes.
2002, you guys?
Lizzie's
I
in my
think-
memories.
Yeah.
no, you guys were later. You guys were like 2007.
I remember me. I know. I met you at 3 clubs.
Yes.
I remember. It was
3
like your
clubs.
Montreal callback.
That was where my life changed.
Oh,
You were
that's so
there.
great that you
I
touched
know.
him in the...
Yeah, she touched me in the green room and my life changed.
Oh,
Erotic massage.
Wait, what's the Montreal callback?
Oh, you love Montreal because you're from Montreal.
Yeah, I love Montreal.
Well, Montreal was.
Yes.
Was a hub.
There
A
was
comedy
a comedy
festival.
festival. Yeah, I don't know if they're doing it.
May it
this
rest
year.
in
laughs.
peace. It had a.
Yes.
It was just for
Yeah.
Juste pour rire.
Juste pour rire. Ouais, c'est
Oh,
vrai.
juste pour
Ouais.
rire.
And we all, but that's Lizzie. To me, my memories are of early LA is like you and me, and then there's a whole gang of people that I can't even think of.
Yeah.
But if they were here, I would go yes and yes and yes. Like
Right.
traveling around from like showcase to showcase,
I
kind
know.
of new to LA,
I
kind
feel
of
like Brent was kind of in the mix.
definitely Brent and like yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
Well, I was just... Moshe and I just got back from a couples workshop in Big Sur.
that's right. We
It
did a
was-
couples retreat.
A weekend retreat. And I don't know if, Shaun, if you do things like this, I feel like someone could steal the format and do this retreat pretty easily.
It was not. Have you ever done anything like you've led retreats like
I've
this?
led retreats like this. I've attended weird, esoteric, hippie retreats. I've been to Esalen. That's where I did my massage formation.
but they don't do erotic massage.
No,
I added
he
that
did
bit
his-
on the end.
He
Lizzy?
did his massage.
I've been to a couples therapist before.
And?
And mine actually, I was like, I think you don't know our names because he'd be like, whereas you, like, okay, you've got the pronouns down.
That's funny.
Let's-
Whereas the lady of the group,
Yeah, exactly. He
That is
didn't
really-
say our names once.
a disengaged couples therapist is fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
But
you have
could
to
he
deal with 2 people at the same time. That sounds horrible.
to be a couples therapist?
Right.
Yeah, who don't get along.
That's kind of what you do.
I don't really work with couples.
That's true. You kind of broadcast instead of
Yeah, I edutain.
right. That's
More
right.
of an edutainer. I actually don't like working with people one-on-one.
All right. It's
I
too
get-
much drama.
I get bored.
Wait, edutain means you just make videos and you don't ever talk to people?
You educate while you entertain.
It's KRS-One's album Edutainment.
So you're a love guru, but you don't have any clients.
Correct. I do have 2 clients.
Your clients
like,
are your followers.
I have like legacy clients. I have 2 legacy clients. And then, yeah, my clients are my followers.
So you are a YouTuber, essentially.
I'm an Instagrammer.
An Instagrammer.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that's what all the kids in my daughter's class want to be, is YouTuber.
They
So
want
I-
to be influencers.
Influencers,
Yeah.
yes. Instagram influencers.
I'll tell you who didn't want to be Instagram influencers.
Who?
Was Barry and what was the other lady's name? Barry and Linda Weissel,
No.
The retreat.
the leaders of our retreat. They had been together 60 years.
Oh, yeah. This was
They
very
were
cute.
Wow.
deep hippies. The guy would play the harmonium as we came in to each workshop, and it was really funny. He would sing these songs, and the lyrics would just be like, "I love you, love. I believe in love. Love is love.
And then he'd be like, everybody. And there was so many couples there. There was probably like 20 couples there. And I started crying as soon as we got there because Moshe was just singing along. And I was like, it was so sweet to me that he was so open to this kind of potentially corny experience. This man's got this harmonium. But there was like also like such a weird range of people. Like there were like 2 young couples who had been together for like 4 months.
It was really funny.
They're
They're like, we've been together since May. We've been together since May.
2 people.
And then there was some people that were there. We can't get into too many specifics because there was like a cone of silence.
Did you have to sign an NDA or anything?
No, but there was like a spiritual NDA. There was like we all kind of like agreed.
We agree not to blast them.
But some of the couples had been together 60 the leaders were 60 years. The next couple was something like 45 years they'd been together.
Wait, that the woman who was dying?
Right. Are we I don't know if we're supposed to.
It was so touching because they would not care. That just the fact that there was a couple there who the woman had been diagnosed with cancer and they wanted to make the most of like their last month together.
They were like
they were in their 80s.
They were investing in their relationship.
This is how you're doing it?
She might be dead already.
They were investing.
She had like 2 weeks or 2 months left.
Wow.
They were investing in their relationship for the final months that they had together, and that was really beautiful.
And what we liked about the class, and I'm sure you can talk about this because, we heard some people complaining like, oh, it's not very structured. But I think that's what was kind of good about it was like, you just for like 5 minutes, I had to tell Moshe everything I liked about him.
Right.
And then for 5 minutes, he had to tell me everything he liked about me.
Like, how, Lizzy, if somebody said, "Ooh, you're going to do some stand-up, but it's a 5-minute set," you'd be like, 5 minutes? That's barely anything.
Right.
This felt like a headline.
The opposite. This is the opposite of that.
This felt like no, it didn't.
You're leaning against the wall going,
Oh, what
so
else?
what else is
I
new?
go, I go, what else do you guys
cereal?
want to talk about? I turned
You
to
open it up to the floor.
I go, Barry, you want to
my
do a
God.
harmonium again real quick? But no, it was
a lot
very
of deep
sweet.
eye gazing.
Wait, will you share something that you love about Natasha?
Wow.
Yeah, I could do that. Some of the things that I said were, I love that she's like the captain of our ship, that of our family, that she keeps the engine running. I said I love that she likes that she needs to be alone at times to reconfigure herself. I love that she's connected to sort of the more esoteric parts of the world that I don't relate to, but I love that about her. She loves to chant and she loves to. These are things that aren't resonant to me, but I admire about her. I said I love that you love the finer things in life. I said
That's enough, Moshe.
That's so sweet.
That ass.
That's so beautiful.
that plump ass. I said I love that plump ass when I watch that thing shake.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Natasha, your turn.
No, he didn't ask me.
Well, I was going to ask you if you wanted to
man.
share. That was wait, wasn't that sweet to receive right now in this moment?
Yeah, totally. It was. Well, it was funny because it reminds me of one of the things, and I will tell what I like about you. I'm not trying to change the subject. But the guy, they kept one of the main things they kept repeating at the couples therapy is so many people are alone.
Right.
But I'm just like, that is not a reason to stay with someone.
No,
Can I tell
that
you
wasn't what they were
something
saying. They were saying to be in the gratitude of the relationship you have, because and to remember that so many people would be envious of the position you're in, that so many people we feel this kind of stuff on the podcast all the time. People that are like, I want love, but I don't know where to find it. So even in a challenging love relationship, which they all are, be grateful for the fact that you found someone. I think that's what they were saying.
Even
Well,
if it's not
also-
perfect.
Yeah.
I'm noticing the things that you're saying about Natasha aren't about you, which I think is really important, because I was dating someone once where I was like, I feel like this guy doesn't know anything about me.
Uh-huh.
And at the end I was like, so what do you even like about me? And he goes, I really like that it wasn't a problem that I didn't have a car.
Hilarious.
I'm like, that's about you.
But that is so confessional, Lizzy. You're
Your
like,
standards got to go up a little
I
bit.
feel like with a charcoal and a pad of paper, I could sketch the guy that you were dating based only on that anecdote.
100%. 100%.
I like that you don't care that I don't have a car.
Yeah.
Oh man. See?
So
Be grateful.
It is
Nice.
like I was
took me a long
waiting for something like that, you know?
Well, how long had you been together?
I think this was someone I was dating for just like 3 months or something, right? I was starting to see the signs that it was going downhill.
Lizzy, you're
On a bicycle, not in a
Oh wait, I don't want to change the subject, but I want Lizzy.
Yes.
I want to get into this Lizzy zone.
Yeah.
Oh my
But
god.
wait, should we talk more about the?
I do want to hear.
Yeah, let's get. Also, I want to hear Natasha what you love about.
Okay,
Moshe.
fine. I like that Moshe is a great dad.
We'll be right back. It's just like a long pause.
Can we
She's
get
got
the
a piece of
harmonium in
paper.
here?
That you have good taste, that you always are like very supportive of me, and even you really like when I like shine, and that's really
That's true.
a part of.
It's so important.
I don't want Lizzy to start crying.
No,
You don't want Lizzy to start crying?
it's the fires.
Yeah, Lizzie's always getting emotional about our relationship.
Just alone at home.
But in the end, I think for me, the couples retreat, it was really powerful. And I thought 80% of it, this was my big takeaway from the thing. 80% of it was showing up. Like all the hokum and the hippie weirdness. I like that stuff because of Burning Man, the world that you and I share together, Shaun.
It's basically naked hot tubbing at Esalen is the other part of the.
But not
couples thing.
together on your own. But
You don't really see anyone. I didn't see anyone.
All the parts that you could roll your eyes at, I didn't mind and that's why I started singing because I'm like, we paid money to be here. Why not fully commit and see what the
Right.
experience is?
Nice.
But most of it was like showing up and pouring some investment fuel into your relationship. And my big takeaway was, it is insane to be in a relationship of any kind and not do something positive for it once a year, once every couple of years.
Like an intensive
A tune-up.
weekend or tune-up.
Because I realized, my big realization was, when you're in a long relationship, you get into this grind of life. You start
There were a lot of people who were there with similar problems like that.
I'm
Like,
thinking about my car right now. I'm like, I've got to get it detailed. It's been too long.
Well, exactly.
well, it's just like it's just your relationship becomes a to-do list.
Right.
Yes.
Scheduling, you're like CEOs. You're just running this small business
So
together
you're
that's
running-
kind of flailing, like kind of a Kinko's that's like kind of
my
not that
God.
great. And
Maybe a copy mat.
Yeah,
Because
a
Kinko's,
copy mat.
we all know, was one of the great success stories in business. But so you're in this business grind with your kid and your life, and then the only time you'll turn and pay attention to your relationship is when something conflict bubbles up and you're angry enough to go, now let's talk about our relationship. Now I'm pissed off. I'm willing to. So it's a lot harder, and this is true, I think, with life in general, not just romantic relationships, to say, let me actually turn and focus on positive things, because they're not loud. They're like they're more subtle and deeper, and to make that effort was very impactful.
Now, did you guys have to sit in any specific position when you spoke to each other, like intertwined?
they kind of wanted us facing each other. It was like a carpeted room with pillows and like little chairs with backrests on the floor.
I did find myself resistant to that part. He kept saying, turn and face your partner, and I would be like,
Well, the couple who was teaching it, they're in their 80s, and they were sitting on each other's laps.
the whole time.
whole
And it was just like, honey,
Oh my
tell him how much you love podcasting.
But it felt very real. It felt very real. And I will say, before we move on, Moshe did get the only standing ovation. Or no, not standing ovation. Applause
I
break.
got
You do a
applause break.
bit?
He got
Lizzy,
an
you would have been
applause
proud.
break
You'd have been proud.
because he said, he's like, when they asked us, what we thought of the thing, Moshe
Yeah.
said, well, I really, we got into a fight on the way up here. And my goal was that basically what he just said.
Well, I thought we were going there to like bring up conflict problems.
And
Like,
resolve
Right.
conflict.
let's
Okay.
talk about how we're like our issues with each other, and then you can help us work through them. And it was like they weren't focused on conflict at all. And I
It was
thought that
just
was really
focused
powerful.
on what you first liked about the
Oh.
person, just kind of reinvigorating what you like.
What you like
someone.
about sex with the
interesting
person.
because I studied Kabbalah.
Of course you do.
I did a lot during the pandemic, but they talk about sometimes focusing on something else. The light from that experience will bounce back and kind of naturally heal the conflict.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, that is nice.
Maybe some of that light.
I like
seeped
that.
in.
Kabbalah
Look at them.
wisdom.
It's just interesting. It sounds wiser than a similar message from a different faith tradition would be. Because that's Jewish, and I like that. But if another faith said the same thing, I would find it less profound. JK. Lizzy,
Yes.
you're next to the love drive.
I know. I
himself.
almost can't believe it. What a
single
gift.
a single lady.
It's
Here
my
we are.
distinct honor.
Yeah, we want to troubleshoot your dating life
Okay.
with Shaun in
Oh
real
my
time.
God. Well,
You're back on the apps.
I've woven a web. I just got back on the apps.
What-
I was on the celebrity app.
Oh, you were on Raya?
I was on Raya, and it would be like, here's Jacques who lives in, Versailles or something, like inside Versailles.
Yeah, how is that helpful?
He lives in a hall of mirrors. Yes or no? But yeah, so it's like very few people who live in Los Angeles. If they do live in LA, it's like people we know.
Mm-hmm.
It's
We don't want that.
embarrassing.
We
It's
don't want that. It's
embarrassing.
embarrassing?
So I found myself like pausing it a lot and being like, oh, I'm just going to go on here and say who I like and then hide it again.
Imagine people who live in
Because-
small towns too.
Well, they don't have Raya in small towns,
Oh,
do they?
okay. Wait, what do you mean you want to put what you? What do you mean hide it? What does that mean exactly?
You can pause it so that you're not visible to the community. or
You'd go and
whatever.
like a bunch of people, and then you'd pause
And then I would
it,
go back
and
in my
then you
little
go
hobbit
hide.
What if
Well-
other people were just joining and then they were interested in you? They wouldn't see you.
I didn't have a lot of luck on that.
Maybe you
Did
just.
you
I
get a
went-
date with David Faustino or?
Oh my God, that is so. No, I mean, I went out with a couple people. I didn't really feel a spark. So I just joined Hinge.
What's Hinge's thing?
So
Hookups?
Hinge is
The app that's meant
yeah.
to be deleted
Why?
because you're going to find your relationship.
Oh, that's their-
that's
that's
their
their-
pitch.
Kinkos.
Yes.
We're open all night. That's their pitch.
But the thing with Hinge
FedEx
is
bought
that
us.
you do delete it every time you get upset about the fact that
Yes.
it's not working or you're annoyed.
It's so
and then
true.
you download it again a week later and you just keep doing that
It's
over
so
and
true.
over
This
and
is
over
my
again.
second time on Hinge because I found that some people would just be like, "Do you want to go out?" Like no one would even like butter you up. Like there would be no
Uh-huh.
chatting, or it would be we're talking forever. Like there was this one
And they'll
guy where I
never
was
ask you
like,
out.
yeah, and I'm kind of waiting for them to make a plan because I have in my mind that I don't want to be the one in charge. I have that in my mind, but I'm starting to actually kind of shift on that.
You're going to be in charge.
Like, have you ever asked a guy out?
No.
See, we're kind of from the same age. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
I've never done that. Like, I feel like more like younger people
Right.
are into that.
Yeah, my friends are like, Lizzy, you can't just like sit around and wait. Like, I don't know.
Do you swipe? But by swiping on someone, you are asking them
That's
out, aren't
true.
you? That's the beauty of apps.
That's
is
the
they've
thing.
made the gendered part go away due to the technological interface.
I barely do that. What I do is I wait for someone to like me and then I look and I determine.
It's a solid strategy, actually.
Is it?
You
Well, yeah.
think
What do you
so?
suggest, Shaun?
Well, the problem with like women sort of, it feels like they're trying to drink water from a fire hose. Like women get so many more
That's so
matches.
hot. Oh my God. Fuck, say that again. Oh man. Natasha. Oh, I forgot. That reminds me of something that I said I loved about her. It's that sound.
Thank you,
Nice.
honey. Wait, so they're
So
trying
they're
to
trying
get
to drink water from a fire
Trying to
hose.
It's
chug
just,
water.
it can be like overwhelming the amount
Right.
of matches that some women get, and guys get like no matches.
Right.
Like it's a trickle. And so I think it's a good strategy to just kind of wait to see who is attracted to you and then say
Yeah.
yes or no on that.
Okay, good. I'm
What,
glad.
what do you struggle with dating? What's your big annoyance?
I think just all I mean, right now, what I'm experiencing is like people don't know how to make a plan.
Mm.
Even today, I switched it because it was Los Angeles, but because we're out here, I switched it to Santa Barbara just to see
What's going on in
who
SB?
was out here. Yeah, I was like, I'm just curious. And I'm supposed to go out with someone tonight, but all he wrote was, I'm done at 5. I'm like, okay.
Nice.
And then
Cool.
what?
So you were telling me you think that the fires, because we were recording
yeah.
this when the fires are happening,
Yes.
you think that they're making men more horny for like road?
Yes.
pussy?
Like the very first night, I was in a hotel and I was like, this is like so many people. First of all, there's an immediate in because you can be like, how are you holding up in the fires? Are you safe? You know, like there's also that like protector element, like as though he's going to show up and, spray fire retardant all around my.
Oh, that's so hot. Oh, say that again. All this stuff.
So I feel like there was like an immediacy, like it almost felt like a dire. You're messaging with someone and this one guy was like, we could meet up anywhere. The world is our oyster. And it's like, we're an hour away from home. It's not like we've ventured away. Like I've driven this long to like go to a certain grocery store.
It feels like post-apocalyptic, though, right?
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
getting
there
rid
is.
of it's
Yes.
inspiring them.
Seize the moment.
yeah.
Oh, it's
could
like
end at
it's like
any
kissing the
point.
girl at the port as you sail off to World War II.
Totally. It's like, where are you headed to next? I don't know. I'm just drifting. Like, we could just meet up on this path and like have this wild night in a hotel room with fires just burning around us. Our clothes drop to the ground. We're drawing each other for some reason. Like I just had all these fantasies about. It does kind of heighten. it.
You're into it.
Oh,
Who wouldn't
I
be?
actually kind of love that.
It's like romantic.
Because I
and-
was thinking
yeah.
it feels gendered in a way for men, I feel like men in times of emotional crisis seek carnal comfort. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think so.
Like,
I mean, you can, yeah.
That's why I've always.
Lizzie thinks that it's like they have this fantasy too, but really they're just horny.
You know when you go through a breakup and then the guy, or it's not always the guy, but often a guy like hooks up with someone too soon. And you know, that kind of classic, like, oh my God, he hooked up with a girl 2 days after we broke up. It's like, to me, that's never looked like problematic behavior, because I know that you often will seek physical comfort when you can't engage your emotional difficult. And I think that's a man thing.
Well, guys have a harder time processing difficult emotions anyways.
So you
they're
find
gonna
it in
look
an arm.
for some sort of comfort
Exactly.
behavior or like acting out.
That's exactly what I was saying. Yeah. But you're saying you like the idea of the romantic interlude on the road from the fires too.
About it, I'm thinking maybe I should start fear mongering a little bit.
Yeah.
I hear the winds are picking up again. You might need to take shelter. I think what you need is a good nurse.
Any port in the storm.
Yeah, you need a port in the storm. I mean, I don't know. But there is something romantic about like the urgency of it, or like we just met on the road, you know.
Well, it could be the last time also.
It's
What do you
so
mean?
true.
Could be the last. I mean, the world's burning down.
Like,
Could be
you
the
think
last time we get to have sex. Like, let's do it
No.
at a Motel 6 in Carpinteria.
That does sound kind of hot. All right, I'm in.
Wait, what were
I
you
heard
gonna
that
say?
one's not bad actually. Someone was like,
It's
the
the
Motel 6
first
in
one, I think.
Oh,
Or no, maybe
really?
the one in Santa Barbara's the first one.
Oh, okay. Oh, maybe that's the one that someone was like, it's actually a really good Motel 6.
We've got a great Motel 6.
Wait, you were just gonna say one thing.
Really?
though.
Oh,
I thought you were gonna say something, finishing the men who
the men,
who are horny.
the storm.
Firemen,
missed it.
she said.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
it-
I thought you were.
I don't
trying-
remember. I don't.
All right,
it'll come back to me.
We have some people waiting on the line.
Okay.
Unless you wanted to do some
Oh.
written in questions, Shaun.
Q&A, always Q&A.
You don't like talk. Oh, you're kind of a snob actually. You're like, I don't want to talk to the people.
No, we'll talk to them also, but I'm always down for surprise Q&A.
Well, Shaun's very good. Honestly, you know,
Give him one.
you're my friend and my former coworker and my brother, and I love you. But I do also think you're very good at what you do. And I see your videos that you post. You've got a very practical meat and potatoes, no shame, but enlightened envisioning of the dating process.
I
And
really appreciate that.
I think you're talented.
No nonsense.
It's true. I mean, what I mean is like, there's a lot of like love influencers where it's kind of in the ether a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a little bit harmonium zone, you know.
definitely.
And I think you're a little bit more grounded, but it's also a very sex positive. There's some takes you have where I'm like, I don't even know if I believe you.
Like
But
what? Sometimes I am pandering a little bit to my audience.
How can you not?
And I throw dudes under the bus sometimes unnecessarily.
Natasha, you'd like that. All right.
I throw dudes under the bus, but they deserve it.
Okay. When to start dating serious? This is for you too, Lizzie.
Okay,
You don't feel
I'm
excluded
in.
from this.
Okay.
When you should start dating seriously again after a divorce, no kids.
Whenever you feel like an intense desire to start like actually getting to know new people.
Yo, meat and potato. That's what I'm talking
And
about.
like you're like actually excited about meeting a new person and like talking to them. And it's okay if you're like desiring to just like leave your current situation and go have sex, or like you were looking for distraction. That's also fine. It's maybe not the best place to go deep with somebody, but like I just tell people to wait until they can't like help themselves.
I think life is messy, and I think all of this, you know, you should wait this amount of time or blah blah blah. What if something opens up and you're just blocking yourself from an opportunity, you know?
100%. There are couples.
I don't.
There are
Yeah.
couples out there where both parties cheated, and that's how they met.
Yeah.
And they've been together 50 years, and they're like, it's a beautiful, healthy love.
So-
Now, most of the time, it doesn't work that way, but it exists.
But
That's
you
the
know what?
anecdote that people use when they're like, "Oh, we can find you could find love while cheating." It's never really.
Yeah.
I think that's similar to fire love.
What's fire love?
Oh, I
like
know
what
what you're saying.
What I'm experiencing right now, like just
Fire
corny.
love.
I'm so
Natural
sorry.
disaster
I take the
love.
fires very seriously, by the way, and I do know Versailles is not a city.
Oh,
Wait,
Is
I
it
do
not a
take-
city?
it's a castle.
Oh, it's a castle.
Yeah.
And
Marseille
I'm
is
like,
I
I
think
don't
what
know
you
why I
meant.
said that.
Marseille.
Yes.
Marseille, yeah.
Okay, but I do take him seriously. I'm not just being like fire love, but I do think that having an affair or something, it's like, oh my god, and this is like dangerous, and it kind of you kind of are trauma bonded a little bit, or there's that heightened hook.
I'd add to that most of the time when people are cheating, a lot of it has to do with them feeling like I lack passion. So the fact that they can go to a relationship that not only isn't the relationship they're in, but also is forbidden.
Yes.
It's like, that's the drug. The drug is not just someone else. The drug is someone else, and it's taboo. And I'm feeling things for the first time, and and all they really needed to do was go to Esalen
and meet.
Barry.
Go to a fancy spa in Big Sur.
All right. My boyfriend tells our friends we are definitely getting married, but where's the proposal?
That's so whack.
Of who?
Of the boyfriend. And also, is this a woman?
I think so.
This person just needs to say, yo, why are you telling people we're getting married if you haven't proposed to me?
I've never said yes.
You haven't even asked me. Look,
Wow.
it's insane that people are unable to have like super simple conversations.
Right.
Insane to me. That's all this takes.
But you know what? It is difficult to have super simple conversations. As simple as one of the questions on this couples retreat was, what do you like? Tell your partner what you like sexually. That's a hard conversation for people to have in the most intimate relationship in their life. That's crazy.
Should we do that
don't
now?
you think that is
Yeah.
dependent on the partner, what you like sexually?
Lizzy, what do you like sexually?
No, Shaun.
on.
Shaun.
Whoa, was that
Shaun.
inappropriate?
Shaun.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Cut that out.
That's not as. That's too meat and potatoes. Too much meat.
Okay,
Not enough
listen.
potatoes.
No, he said he was direct. We knew what we had.
Listen.
People tell you who they are.
You're
He told
you're
us.
the love guru for
I can't
a
help it.
reason.
I can't help it.
What
But-
do you like sexually?
Wait.
No, come on.
We
I
can't
don't,
have that conversation. What is it? What is it? Scary?
I like
don't-
making love.
Really like eye gazing during
I love
sex?
eye gazing. I like missionary. I like making love. I like going slow.
Do you ever whisper? Now, Lizzy,
Yes.
I have found that women. Lizzy, I have found that women love this.
Okay.
You make deep, unrelenting eye contact with the woman while you're making love to them, and you say "I love you" over and over again for upwards of 20 to 35 minutes.
Right.
And if they try to look away, you grab their face and say, "Don't look away." Women go
Yeah.
crazy
That
for
does
that.
sound
I
good.
can see that.
That is, they love it, and then you start, like, if you're
Yeah.
early in the dating process, you start talking about the children that you might have. You describe them during the lovemaking process.
Wait, people do this though.
We're gonna have little Adam. He's gonna be a redhead, and he'll have freckles. Don't look away. I love you so much. And then will come little Lindsay. Lindsay comes next, and Lindsay's got peanut allergies. Lindsay doesn't. She's not a healthy girl, but she's got a spirit. There's something about her. Huh?
I think
Turn
I'd
on.
be turned on because it would scare me.
I'm joking. This is the
Oh.
worst advice I've ever.
That's real. But I do
People
think
do
that's
this,
like
though.
like
People-
listen to me. Like when someone's like, no, listen to me. It's almost like someone yelling at you. That feels closer to someone yelling at you. Like the scariest thing anyone ever said to me was, "Do yourself a favor," and I was like,
Oh, I hate
scared.
that.
What'd they say? What'd they say? See, you were turned
It
on.
was like
now.
it was like in college. I had a fight with a friend. She was like, "You know what? Do yourself a favor," and I was like, I still feel it.
So you
But
kind of
someone
like
being
being like talked
look
to?
at me like that. Like
You like or don't like that? That sounds bad.
I think I might like that.
Oh, you
yeah.
might like that.
Oh,
I
you
think
could explore that scene more.
yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe I could explore that.
All right, should we do another one?
Sean's like, and I'm ready.
Yeah,
We do another Q&A?
Sure.
Ready for?
Yeah, but don't we have someone waiting to talk?
Yeah, we could go. This
Yeah.
is just so
Okay.
fun.
Okay,
but-
do one more.
Okay, Shaun. How do you get men to do more chores?
Neither of these people live with another
Okay,
person.
fine.
That's not a good
Go to.
Like I don't do chores.
What do you think?
Just hire somebody.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
hire
I love
somebody.
that.
Have them have
This one's
him
good.
pay for it.
Yeah. okay.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
This is for both of you.
Okay.
My partner baby talks our cats, and it makes my skin crawl. Do I tell him or get over it? Am I the asshole?
Lizzy, you want to
I've
take
been
this
there.
one?
Oh, really? What do
I've
you
had
do?
seen men dote on their dogs in a way that's made me nauseous.
And-
yeah.
It's an ick.
It's close to a deal breaker. Yeah.
Right.
You shouldn't be closer to your animal than you are to your partner.
I know
And
what you
actually,
mean.
there's an Anne Sexton poem called Your Face on the Dog's Neck, where she's looking out of the window, watching her partner kind of.
Love on the dog in a way she wants to be
Yes.
loved herself.
Oh my
Yes.
God.
It's a really good poem.
You can sometimes hear it in the voice of the owner too. It's like, Victor, you're not doing what I told you. Come this way. I told you to come this way. Like they have like a full-on relationship.
You know what the
you
thing
know,
about
like
dogs
and you
is?
just kind of overhear it, and you're like, this is a dog.
The thing about dogs is they don't have icks. They love it all.
Oh
Ew,
my
yeah,
God,
they'll
that's
You
smell
know,
your
you could
true.
make
fucking
deep, unrelenting
balls.
eye contact with a dog. You could tell him I love you, and he would love it back.
Moshe
he would never
loves
be
our
like,
dog
"This is
so
a little
much."
thirsty to me." Like, Whatever this is, I'm not into it.
True.
Our dog comes and says goodnight to Moshe every night.
night.
Moshe loves it.
When I get into bed, my dog gets out of his bed, walks over to me, puts his head on the bed. I pet him for a while, and then he turns around and goes to bed. You know who doesn't do that?
I try to give
Barry
you.
Weissel.
I try to give you a kiss before.
Yeah, it's like good night, hon.
I have
Captain's
the
over there
experience.
getting in.
I've seen dogs before with gross owners and been like, you have no idea how gross your owner is. Like, almost like you want to wake them up and be like, you can do so much better than this.
All right.
We didn't even answer the question.
Oh yeah. What's the
What's
answer?
your answer?
I don't know, actually, because like sometimes people have pre-existing relationships with their animals. That relationship is
Oh,
longer.
wait, whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh.
I'm not saying
Sean's been staying with us with his dog Roger.
Your
They have
blind dog,
a
Roger.
very tight relationship. Roger's blind, so he definitely
This
your
dog is
heart
so
goes out
cool.
to him because he keeps running into tables and chairs and stuff. 'Cause
But he's got doggy joie de vivre, dude.
He does.
Like he's just out there, no eyes.
Moshe was
like-
playing fetch with him. Like,
Oh, we had a very satisfying
Are
moment.
the
which
eyes
was,
sewn shut?
no, they're there,
he's in the car right now.
but they're like
not
glaucoma.
a dog person.
They're
She's
like glaucoma shut. You should
Yeah.
put 2 patches on him, dude.
or sunglasses.
Dude, today we took your dog for a walk, and these college kids walked by, and he walked right in front of him, and the girl goes, "Excuse me," kind of with a little bit of an attitude, and Natasha goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, he's blind," and the shame that flooded them was so satisfying.
They're like,
dude.
oh my god, I'm so sorry, we didn't know.
And it was just such a beautiful, satisfying moment. It was
That
awesome.
made me realize I'm gonna start saying that about Captain. If someone ever gives me shit, I'm like, he's blind.
That's amazing. You should do that.
Thank you.
But I also don't agree with baby talking your animal.
You
shouldn't
don't
do
baby
it.
talk Roger,
I
but
do not.
you guys like. Do you have a hard time telling a girl like, yeah, I have a blind dog?
No.
What do you want?
Big?
Why would I have?
What
a
if
hard
that
time
was a
with
deal breaker?
That's a pretty big. I would not like it if I dated a guy and he's like, here's my big blind dog.
What?
That's fucked
What the
up.
fuck is wrong with you?
What? But you've spent time with my blind dog, and there's nothing really wrong with
It just
him.
feels a little bit like
Natasha.
baggage.
What?
No,
You know what's
a
interesting?
blind dog. I don't know. I'm just saying for the first.
Would you date a man with a deaf mother?
No. Just kidding.
What's interesting,
I
Lizzy?
think sometimes because dogs don't understand the boundary. And I was taking care of my friend's poodles, and one of them was really large and masculine. And he would like come in when I was taking a shower and just sit there and be like,
I'll just stare at you.
I'm like, how do I?
You close
Where's
the door.
boundary?
You close the door. You couldn't close the door.
You were thinking when you saw the poodle
I
staring at
forget to
you,
do
this
stuff
is
like
that guy in Versailles.
Oh, this
It's
is
like a very French situation. Sean, you speak French?
I don't know. Just tell him to stop. It's turning you off. The baby talking to the dog is turning you off.
Will you tell us that in French?
Mm.
Tell me that in French. Oh, oh, Jacques, I love
Oh, you want me to baby talk to the dog? Or do you
No,
want me
tell
to
me to
okay.
stop doing the baby talk in French.
Moshe, il faut que je te dise que ça me... J'aime vraiment pas ça quand tu parles à ton chien comme ça.
Oh, oui?
Ouais. Ça me turn off un peu.
Aïe, aïe, aïe.
No, Moshe's trying to get Sean laid.
Ça me turn off un peu. At the Love Drive.
By
Send
the
me a
way,
DM.
I think that at the Love Drive and his relationship with his dog is very sweet. I'm just saying it's a lot sometimes
It's
to
okay.
introduce. It's like having a child.
That's fine. And I can only really date people who are like into dogs.
Right, of course.
Like, and I have dated people who aren't really into dogs, and it just doesn't work. And that's okay.
That's what I'm trying to say.
That wasn't
also-
what you said.
He's
it was
12, so he's only got a couple years left.
I'm just saying a blind dog is a lot.
I find blind dogs.
That dog happens to be cool and charming, and
He's
everyone
sick.
loved
He's,
him.
he's a great dog. He's
But
an
most
amazing dog.
blind dogs are whack, is what you're saying.
Okay, what? Oh, let me ask you this, Moshe.
Yeah.
You're dating a girl, and
Yeah.
she has a dog, cute dog, but it is wears diapers and has one of those little wheelchairs for dogs.
Okay,
the
I'm
wheels?
more way on your team right now. This is difficult.
Look, I'll be honest with you. I don't want to
There's
date anybody who has like a difficult dog.
Right.
Or
Thank
like
you.
yes.
Yes.
My-
But
our-
like poorly behaved is different than disabled.
Yes.
I'm with you on that.
Yes, Roger is not poorly behaved.
Also, blind is not like slobbering. Like he
Right.
doesn't smell.
well, he
doesn't
does
poop
run
everywhere.
into things.
But
Yeah,
it's
but that's
cute
on
when he
him.
runs into things. It's
Right.
kind of like the Three Stooges a
That's
little bit.
him. That's his experience. Doesn't affect us at all.
Right. But if he was like foaming at the mouth and diarrheaing all over, that would be
I don't want that either.
that'd be a
now
lot
that
worse.
I'm into.
I would.
Yeah, you love that. That's your vibe, right? That's your Raya search
That's
words
right.
right there. Looking for a man with diarrhea. Dude,
Diarrhea.
you're in LA. It's almost guaranteed you're going to find one.
That's so
There's a lot of
true.
gut
I know.
gut
so many people
microbiome.
weak guts in Los Angeles.
What?
Yeah.
When did guts become the primary problem in life?
Yeah.
That's new.
I know. Balancing the guts.
It's a trend,
Getting
honey.
the microbiome.
Well,
that sounds like a
leaky gut.
Burning
Leaky
Man.
gut.
Leaky gut. I think it's the
Leaky gut.
microplastics.
You think it's real?
I think there's something going on.
There's some leaky guts.
I don't know what is and isn't real, but
All right.
My what's it called?
Gut.
New Year's resolution
Yeah.
was to not drink from any plastic water bottles.
That's a good one.
Thank
Wow.
you.
How's it been going? Have you
I'm doing
accomplished
pretty
it?
good. I've
That's so
accomplished
crazy.
it so
I just
far.
heard we have to start drinking from those.
What? Oh, because in LA the
We're
water's
like,
not
oh,
clean.
yeah, don't drink. Make sure to go out and get a bunch of jugs of water.
Hey,
Oh no,
I'll
you're
tell you
right. But I'm
this.
saying
I'll-
when there's not a fire happening.
I'll
When
tell you
there's-
this: a natural disaster really puts leaky gut and gut biome into context, doesn't it?
all the
Like-
gluten-free people are
Yeah.
eating gluten now.
right? They're just like, "Can I have a sack of
Oh my
flour,
God.
please?"
I
Okay,
feel like-
listen.
yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying microbiome sounds like a tent that would be at Burning Man.
Ooh, that brings
The
us back to Burning Man.
microbiome.
Come join us. Actually, we're playing a 4-hour set at Microbiome this year.
Back to back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
back to back Microbiome.
DJ Moshe, DJ Deluxe,
Sure.
back to back at microbiome.
All right. Well, listen. We have someone waiting to talk to us. They want your advice. You guys have great advice. So let's.
Let her rip. Luca in Milan.
All right. Wow, that really impressed everyone. We're gonna call Luca in Milan.
I'm just saying, Luca in Milan sounds like somebody in Lizzy's Raya history.
Definitely.
I'd go out with Luca in Milan.
Luca.
Scusi.
Scusi, Luca.
Scusi, Luca.
Portate vino.
Luca, are you there?
Scusi.
You are Italian. You're Italian and you're doing like a racist impression of an Italian.
Can you speak Italian?
No.
Luca, come stai? Buongiorno, come
No.
stai?
Hello, ciao, come state?
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao,
ciao.
Luca.
Ciao, bello.
What's going on?
I'm good. Thanks so much for having me. This is kind of a weird experience, but it's amazing.
We're grateful to have you. Luca, are you in fact an Italian from Italy?
Yes, I am.
Natasha is an Italian woman.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to say one thing about it. So I know she says her last name is Leggero, and I would love it if you said Leggero instead, because otherwise you sound French, and I feel like the French have enough already.
Ah.
So
Say it again.
It's Leggero, he's saying.
Say it again correctly,
Leggero,
Luca.
yeah.
Say it
Leggero
correctly.
would be French.
Leggero.
Leggero, yeah.
Leggero.
All right.
Luca, can I tell you my experience in Italy?
Sure, please.
Well,
I heard you guys talk about it a few times.
Excuse.
Oh, please.
My-
I'm so sorry. Natasha first would like to excuse her pronunciation.
Yes. Well, basically, I grew up and they said Leggero. And then
Okay.
I went to college. And as I was graduating, the snobby history teacher brought me up and he said, and next up, Natasha Leggero, or Leggero, as she says. That was like, and so I was like, oh my God, I have to be reborn. So then I went by Leggero and I told everyone it was like DiGiorno, but I guess I was wrong. But I think
Yeah,
that's kind of cool
yeah.
because honestly, when I got my DNA, it was like a lot of French. So I feel like I kind of have created my own name and j'adore.
So, Luca, how do you
I
say
love it.
How do you say it correctly?
Well, it would be leggero, and also I believe DiGiorno would be Di Giorno.
And what about Celeste Pizza for one?
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
It's a reference to a kind of pizza that would make you hate all Americans, I guess.
Oh, okay. Well, my tolerance is pretty high. My girlfriend is half German, and every now and then she brings in questionable food in the house.
I
so
can see
I'm
that.
getting used to it.
there's a girl.
So do you forgive me for my name?
Of course. I just had to say it for the French. You know, it's the rivalry with French and Italians is very high.
I'm Italian and I'm definitely on the side of the French.
Wait, why?
Because they're more sophisticated
Oh,
and they're more
Natasha.
powerful, no?
Now, Luca, when I was in Italy, I would be taking a cab or something, and I was trying to use my feeble Italian. And what I found was when I would tell a cab driver or any Italian person something with a regular pronunciation, they would have no idea what I was saying. If I was like, Give me what's the name of the piazza, a big piazza in Milan?
In Milan, Piazza del Duomo.
Piazza del Duomo. If I say to the taxi driver, "Hey, I'd like to go to the Piazza del Duomo," he'd be like, "Huh? Piazza del Duomo?" Like, huh? And then if I went into a racist caricature of an Italian person and I go, "The Piazza del Duomo," he'd be like, "Oh, okay, you want to go to the Piazza del Duomo? Let's go."
Land of peasants. I'm so sorry.
Oh, Natasha.
What?
What are you talking? He's from Milan. That's like the sophisticated.
Oh, yeah. I would marry
culture.
someone from Milan.
Oh, Natasha. Racist, self-hating.
They, I would say that usually Italians are very, very happy as soon as you attempt to speak their language. They're not like, excuse again me bashing the Parisians, but like, because I speak okay French, I go there, I'm like, let me try. And they speak in English, and I say, okay, fair enough. I mean, better for me, but
I love Italy. I adore it. France, less.
Give me Italy.
Okay.
Give me Italy any day of the week.
Any day of the week.
The food, it's amazing.
I will tell you my one critique of Italian food: little too much Italian food. You go to a place. I lived in Rome 6 months, and it was at the end. It wasn't just Italian food; it was Roman food. It's like I'm like my kingdom,
Indian
my
food,
kingdom for a
Thai
curry,
food.
dude. What the fuck is going on here? Yes, you have the best food in the world, but it's not the only food in the world.
Diversify.
Yeah, that's a common thing, but it is good. So
Luca, how can we help you?
So, I mean, my initial question I wrote in like ages ago, and it was kind of silly, but since the holidays came through, when you spend time with your family, things tend to always bubble up and come through. So I thought might as well ask something a bit more serious and that could be, of help. So essentially, I come from a fairly like my parents are quite old school, let's say conservative, although, they've traveled the world and done all that stuff. The upbringing was, I'll put it again, old school. I love them to death, everything like that. But as I get older, and because I'm quite international, I started implementing more, let's say, American or British ways of interacting with your family and trying to establish a friendship with them. And it's a very intense battle climbing up, because as a kid, I remember if I would even like reply to anything to my parents, it would be like, "You're disrespectful, how dare you," just like fear all the time. Then as you get older, it's sort of normal. And I know this is a familiar thing in Italy, but most recently it was Christmas season and like, I don't know, just talking, and out of nowhere, a fight will at some point erupt from my parents for whatever reason. And the whole point, I don't even remember what it was about, but my thing is I was standing my ground trying to say like, listen, I understand, but I would rather us be friends and talk about this. And I see you're upset now. Let's discuss what it is. But my mother or sometimes my father point blank just say, "No, I'm the parents. I don't care if you're 31 or whatever. This is not at all how I'm going to do it. You just have to accept what I say." And, over time, I managed to let my ego go down. But when you keep getting that level of heat, my Italianness comes out as well. And so then, you start sparking and flying conversations. And then you let things rest. We went skiing after with, very upset. But then by the end of the day, we were okay. And that's a very Italian thing where it's like quick to ire and quick to forgive. But I cannot stand that. Like, I would much rather have a stable thing. So I guess my question is, what's your advice on dealing with people of not only different generation, but different, conservative ways of interacting in the family nucleus, so to speak?
Cut them off.
That is the new thing. A lot of that is young people are all about. I'm on a subreddit on Reddit that is all about people that are cutting their families off. That's the popular thing to do now for young people, is with exactly what you're talking about, Luca. They have no tolerance for it. They're just like, I just cut my mom and dad off. They're toxic, and I've got my new chosen family. I think that it's not what I would do, but I think it's a very young person thing to do.
It's not what our child would do ever either.
You went mid-Atlantic on that.
That's the easiest thing to do, rather than like try to build a bridge or try to accept your parents for being your parents and like not being like as healed as you want them to be. I think it's a lot easier to just cut them off than to like sit with the discomfort of like being disappointed by your parents.
Yeah. I've been thinking
in this situation, yeah.
But just in general, what Luca's talking about is this idea of trying to bring new school, new age, touchy-feely communication to people that are just not generationally able to translate it. That's hard.
But aren't you? I mean, do you long for that connection with your parents, or don't you kind of want to have your own?
Yeah,
You seem
I
like
mean,
you're in your 30s.
always have since I was a kid.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, and like I said, slowly, very slowly throughout, high school, the university years and stuff, I managed to slowly build it. Like we created a WhatsApp like group just so that we can like communicate more often as opposed to just seeing each other when we see each other. So it's a very slow battle, but it seems to be going well. But then I swear, even last Christmas, this year was my turn. Last year was my sister. Just something will blow up from my dad or my mom feeling disrespected about something. It's pretty crazy.
I found myself recently out to eat with my mom, and I was scolding her for all these things, one after another. My mom is the opposite of your parents. My mom, it's been touchy-feely, too touchy-feely from the moment I was born. It was just like,
okay.
It was a fire hose of emotional gavaging. I mean, it was just beyond.
Sounds overwhelming.
It was overwhelming, but it was definitely overwhelming in the opposite.
Ew, do I do that to our kid?
No, honey. No, you don't have the emotional connectivity that my mom did. Like, there's no way you could. It was just too much. It was like, I used to say growing up, Luca, this will make you jealous. Like, one of the big frustrations is like my mom would do something inappropriate, like literally take something that wasn't hers.
Like at a restaurant?
No, like one time I had this TV set that my dad gave me, and she decided she wanted to put it in her room. And I would go, and I would go. It was like a tube TV, like a little.
Can you tell Moshe's getting activated by this?
But no, that's just an example. Anything she did that was stepped on my toes, and I would say, "Mom, you took my TV. That's mine. You stole that." And she would go, "I love you." And it's like, that's not the answer here. That's nice, but it's not the answer.
Yeah,
like it was her sword was like emotional connectivity. Anyway, but now she's getting older. She's like nearly 80. And I was out to eat with her, and I was like scolding her for these things that were really fucking driving me crazy. But I started to realize, like, I'm scolding her for things that she can't help anymore. Like, she's old and she can't help this. And I'm like scolding the aging process in a way. Like, it seems like incidental.
You were scolding her because she's like tripping
or interrupting me or not staying coherent in a thought, or like telling a story that didn't make sense. And I'm like, Mom, that doesn't make sense. Or you're not listening to me. And it's like, oh, actually, I have no choice but to accept her. Like, there isn't another choice. I don't know if that's true for your family. Maybe it is on the realm of, you deserve more.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few things of that story that, I mean, as a kid, those responses from your parents where it's like, I love you, or we know best, or whatever. And again, me and maybe it's just our family dynamic, but like we're all very, very prideful. So when someone responds that way, it gets even more upset. And yeah, I guess this fight that happened this time was I was kind of trying to scold my mom in a sense, like just saying, hey, this is something I don't appreciate, but trying to bring it in a very almost like therapy way, but wouldn't have any of that. So I don't know. So the best thing, I guess, is just to veer. I would never abandon them or cut them off. That's not my thing, to be a very loving person kind of thing. But I will get very upset about something and then try my best to get it resolved as soon as I can. Like, as a kid, I was the youngest, and I tend to try and keep things down or calm or happy.
Do the people you date get jealous of your deep relationship with your family?
No, because in Italy, people have much more, like, my relationship with my family is so not intense or connected compared to the average Italian. Like, they live with their parents most of the time. Like, at 18, I moved to another country, but my parents left Italy when they just got married. So like, we're very not like the norm. I was jealous more like when I had some American friends and they hung out with their like older sisters. Like, I would never hang out with my siblings because we were always fighting and stuff. So it was that kind of a dynamic as opposed to what I was looking or seeing.
I mean, my family fighted a lot. And I feel like my solution to that was to create my own family.
Yeah, well, I think that's a very American solution.
It's a very American thing. Very individualistic.
Lizzy?
Me too.
Same thing.
Hashtag
Chosen family.
Me too.
Chosen
Oh.
family.
Hashtag gut. Hashtag leaky gut syndrome.
I was like, me too.
Hashtag bio. Yeah,
Guts.
Hey, what's that subreddit? Just in case we do want to cut off our family.
I think it's cutting off
promote that.
boomers or
Oh.
boomers being fools. That's what it's called.
Boomers being fools. Okay.
Luca, honestly, I'm getting the vibe.
He's so sweet.
So
He is sweet.
He wants
You're
a
very-
softer relationship with them.
You're a very emotionally connected
Next time your mom
person.
is hanging the laundry out on the clothesline in one of those beautiful Italian balconies.
Yeah, but for
She
every
makes me do
Do
it.
what?
for every Italian caricature of Mama putting the laundry out on the clothesline and screaming the pasta's ready, there's the other caricature of the dad going, "You get the
Not
fuck out of
alone.
here!"
Right, and the wife.
I think honestly, Luca, your situation is very similar to my situation in the taxis of Italy, which is that I was trying to speak to the taxi drivers in a language they simply could not understand. And it wasn't until I met them on their own frequency that they were able to take me where I wanted to go. Mama and daddy are not going to be, they have not done the emotional work that you have done, Luca. So they are not going to be able to meet you in the emotionally mature state that you're in.
Yeah.
You have to find them where they exist so that they can take you to the piazza of your soul.
Piazza del Duomo.
Piazza
And,
del
and
Duomo.
to be
Well,
honest,
very
if
nice.
people like
Yeah.
this were not your parents, I don't even think you should deal with them. That's the problem.
Yeah.
You're a modern person, and they are, not to sound elitist, but they're more like old-fashioned, archaic. They're like,
Yeah.
you know, they're not quite in, like, there's something that happens in generations. I'm sure our child's generation will be even something else, but you know, there's like an enlightenedness that happens, or you know, self-aware, self-reflection. Like, it just didn't get to them.
Our
you
child's
know?
going to be like, "You believe in women?" Okay. The early
Right, right.
2000s called.
Sexist. Problematic.
Yeah, I think that's right, though. I think that it's just about meeting people where they are, probably. Lizzie, Shaun,
Yeah.
any thoughts?
I think that's sound advice. I do, meeting them where they are. I don't know. I scored really low on reading comprehension, and I got lost about halfway through it.
It's not
If I'm
reading.
to be honest, I was kind of like, "Wait,
It was a
what
good
were we
story.
talking about?"
Yeah.
He's like,
Well,
and then
because
we
that's why
went
it's-
skiing, and then we came
But
back.
that's
I'm
why
like,
it's confusing, because
Yeah.
he's very close with his family.
Yes.
And it sounds like he he sees his friends having these relationships. First of all, compare, despair. You're not going to have the same relationships. If you get everything that person, if you even want one thing that person has, the relationship with their family, you'd have to have everything else that relationship has.
I do
and you
have-
don't want
Sure.
I have another idea on this. Sorry if
Yes,
I
tell me.
interrupted. Like your mom would.
She definitely would.
I think you also have to ask yourself what exactly you want out of this. Because this might just be you kind of like obsessively like I'm kind of just picturing you kind of digging and digging and digging. But maybe that there's
Yeah.
something you're looking for outside of yourself that you kind of need to go inward a little bit and try to fill the well on your own. Do more things you enjoy. Again, put the focus elsewhere and stop kind of focusing on it like it's a problem, and start seeing it as something that's evolving rather than something that's fixed and not working.
Shaun, any thoughts?
People do change, but it's usually slowly over time. And you've seen this.
and not
right?
if they're elderly.
Well,
Yeah.
still, and not if they're
Yes.
getting berated by their child. But relationships do change, and I found that my father, the older he got, he did soften, and that's what I wanted. I wanted him to soften. It just took a lot longer than I was expecting.
There's this
Sure.
phrase that I'm sure you're familiar with, Shaun. There's a phrase in AA, Luca. Would you rather be? I'm sure maybe it's not just in AA. Would you rather be happy or right? You know, and that is like one of my operating principles in life. Is like, do I want to be right or do I want to be happy? Often I start with right. I will start
Sure.
the first 2/3 of the interaction is I want to be right, and it never wins, it never works, and then I figure out, hopefully, happy, and happy usually is accepting people where they are. Like, what you really want is parents that speak a different language, and you don't have that. You have the parents that speak your language. That doesn't mean you don't advocate for yourself, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you don't say, well, I need us to speak to each other in a different way, even though it's foreign to you. I need us to work on that. But expecting them to have the same emotional realizations you've had over the course of your young life, it's a fool's errand.
Do you think that he should say, you know what? Like how we say with our daughter, we take away privileges. Should he be like, you know what? I'm not going skiing with you today. You know, my feelings
take
were
away their
kind of
privileges?
hurt of them hanging out with them. My feelings were sort of hurt today, and I just want to go home and think about it.
That's not a bad idea either. If you
Yeah.
Is that what you say?
But
Well, no, with a kid though, you're like,
yeah.
if you do that one more time, you're not going skiing.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point, actually, which is great. I think that's the counterbalance to the point that I made, which is you have to accept people where they are. It doesn't mean you don't set boundaries for yourself. It doesn't mean you put yourself into abusive situations and go, talk to me however you want, mama. I understand you don't understand.
Yeah.
I love you the way you are. No, you say, if you're going to talk like that, I love you, but I'm not coming. I'm not coming
skiing.
I'm not coming to the Alps
What
with you.
about take a little bit of this Hinge advice and let them
Sure,
come to
sure.
you?
That's right. Yes.
Stoke your own power, live your own life, and then they're going to miss you and they're going to start to.
Luca,
Don't text your parents for 3 weeks.
Luca, baby, where you been? All right,
Yeah.
that seems like
That's
a lot of wisdom.
That's a lot of wisdom. Yeah.
Luca, baby, we love you.
we love you.
Luca, ciao bello.
Ciao, grazie mille. One last thing. Moshe, I know you said that like Italian cookies are bad, and like that is absolutely not true.
I agree.
So you got to go to a supermarket next time you're in Italy, and there's like an aisle of like cookies, and there's like 1,000 variations
What's
of
your
them. I'm not
favorite
saying they're like
Italian
American
cookie?
cookies with.
They're all
tons of
dusty,
butter.
brother.
No.
They're
Luca.
all dusty. They all have the memories of Rome.
No, they're so
all
good.
Okay.
Italian desserts are
Oh
great.
yeah, it's no gummy sharks from 7-Eleven.
Italian desserts
you're
are great.
You have a very American taste where you
No,
want
I
things super
have
sugary and
actual
sweet.
sophisticated taste. Italian desserts are great. It's top shelf. They're in the zone. They're in the top 4. But it's the cookies. Don't get me wrong. Jewish cookies are worse. Does that make you feel better?
Wait, hold on. What's your favorite Italian cookie, Luca?
Great question.
Well, okay, so the most addictive one, it's called pan di stelle, which means bread of stars, and it's like a little cookie
Star
like
anise?
this. That's chocolate with sugar stars on it, and you have one, and then you have 25 right away.
Send us some.
Yeah, send us a bag,
Send
Luca.
us a box of
All right,
cookies.
I will. If
I
you
love
guys
that
come
it's
to
not even how
Milan
his
for
aunt
whatever
makes
reason
it's
to do
like
a show.
from the grocery store.
Listen, nobody can compare it to Italian food. You guys won. Okay, you won. You guys win. Fuck it.
But
The cookies could be better.
Cookies could be less dusty. All I'm saying is the cookies could be less dusty. That's all. All right, Luca. Grazie mille.
Grazie mille. Ciao bello.
Grazie a voi.
Okay.
Bye,
Ciao,
Luca.
buona serata.
Okay. Well,
Why,
what a sweetheart.
Why
He
does
was
he
a
care
sweetheart.
so much about his mom?
what are you talking
I know.
about? What is wrong with you, Natasha?
He's
I
got his
wouldn't-
whole life
He's
ahead
like
of him.
40.
What are you
He's
talking
like a
about?
young, good-looking guy. Like, just go live your life.
What is
yearns.
wrong with both of
Your
you?
parents are
Why does he
annoying.
care about
It
your
is.
mom?
He's yearning
It's
for a
his
better
mother.
relationship.
Yeah, but
Both
shouldn't he
of
be
you
like?
said you cut your parents off.
Shouldn't he be focused? Wait, shouldn't he be focused on finding a wife
Well,
though?
Right.
He has a girlfriend.
This
I've
is like
gotta
a man
say,
with no
I
tongue
like that now that
saying,
he's gone.
What?
I like that now that he's gone.
German
We're like,
girlfriend.
okay, guys.
This is like a man with no tongue saying, why does he care so much about the flavor of the soup? You guys, people love their
why?
Parents are
moms.
rich.
Why
He
would
goes
you care about
skiing with them. They feed him.
Yeah, just 'cause
whenever
they
these
have
people,
money.
whenever these people are like, I really want to get close to my
Can I taste
parents,
this?
it's because they want their money.
No,
I'm
what
just
the
kidding.
fuck
I'm
are
just
you
kidding.
talking
Luca,
about?
I'm totally teasing you, but it's sometimes because it's
You
like
were
fun.
right when you
What?
said, don't your partners get jealous? They do. They're just not telling him. Because I have dated so many people with these relationships where they talk to their mom like twice a day. And
It's weird, right?
Yes.
You
and they're kind of
both cut your families off.
I didn't cut my family off,
No, I guess you didn't.
and you didn't either.
Did you cut your family off?
I am not in contact with my family, but mine is a long historical thing. My mom is dead, so I can't communicate with her, but
Oh,
I
wait,
never
actually?
cut my mom. I never cut my mom off.
You
yeah.
can.
I can.
Yeah, I know a guy.
Barry?
Yeah, Barry with the
Barry?
harmonium.
Oh my God.
I'll say it
We'll
is
get back
weird.
in touch.
The
All is
relationship
love.
continues even after they die. Are your parents are both
How does
alive,
it
right?
continue?
I've heard that, by the way.
I still get mad at my mom. I'm like, why didn't you let me get highlights? Or like weird stuff comes up. I'm like, I would have been so much
dead?
better looking.
No, I mean, look, I was just teasing.
Why did you buy me all forest green? Everything, like just stuff like that. It just comes up still. Not stuff that's that petty, but just emotion. It just lives forever. They die, but that's very Jewish too, because they say in Judaism, the memory lives on. They'll be remembered by their memory,
Have you heard
and
that?
that's very.
Have you heard about the 2 deaths? That there are two.
No.
There are 2 deaths people die. It is the last. It's when they die physically, and the last time someone speaks their name. So that's
And
why.
on that note,
That's why we made this
stay
podcast.
safe out there.
Shaun, where can people find you?
At the Love Drive on Instagram and on Substack and on everywhere.
Love Drive Substack.
The Love Drive.
And
just
it's-
Google the Love Drive.
And like I said, Shaun, you're great at what you do. You give really good advice and from a really a righteous place. And
I try.
and
Thank you.
I love you. Thank you
I
for
love
being
you
here.
too.
Lizzy, where do people find you? Are you doing?
You can
What are you
find
doing?
me.
Stand-up
I have
wise?
shows coming up. I didn't look up where they were. I
Sounds
probably
like me.
should.
We're like very similar.
Yeah, you guys are very similar.
Yes, we have
Female
crossover
comedian.
for sure.
Lizzy Cooperman, one of the funniest.
Thank you so much. LizzyCooperman.com. It's my homemade website. And then I always put my shows in my Instagram stories and
What's
stuff.
your Instagram?
At Lizzy Cooperman, and that's Lizzy with a Y.
If you're not following Lizzy, you're so funny.
Thank
You're
you
a fool
so
if
much.
you're not following Lizzy. Find us wherever we are. We're coming to a city near you. Natasha, I love you.
Moshe, I love you too.
Love you guys.
I love
Lizzy?
you guys
that was
as
the end of our
well.
thing.
I do.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh,
We
That's
cut you
over.
off.
oh
No, it's
sorry. I was
over.
like, okay, I'll get
Lizzy,
it.
it's over. The podcast.
I'm like, Shaun, I love you.
I love Lizzy. I love you.